Division received this dictaphone.
Division received this dictaphone.
Division received this dictaphone. Division received this dictaphone from a bunker that has no record on any map drawn before November 25th. The patrol that left it swears they crossed the tree line yesterday. Their watches say it has been 29 days. This is Captain Daniel Kessler, S2 Intelligence, attached to Headquarters Company, 112th Infantry Regiment, 28th Division. November 26, 1944. For 45 hours. Operation Echo Survey. Division sent us in after both Reed's patrol and Hale's recovery squad went silent. 12 of us this time, me, Lieutenant Moore, Sergeant Vale, Corporals Hayes and Ruiz, PFCs Becker, Novak, Ellis, Thompson, Carter, Lang, and Private Kowalski. The briefing was simple. Locate Bunker 17, recover any logs, and map the anomaly. We crossed the tree line 10 minutes ago. The path on the map says 200 yards to the first marker. My boots say we've already walked 400 and the trees are closer than they were when I looked up. The compass is steady, but the ground feels wrong. Like the forest slid a few degrees while we weren't watching. No one has said anything yet. We keep moving. 2 hours in and the map changed. I swear I had it folded to grid K9 when we left the assembly area. Now there's an extra trail marked in pencil that loops back on itself and ends at a bunker symbol that wasn't printed on this sheet yesterday. The ink looks fresh. I showed it to Lieutenant Moore and he stared for 10 seconds, then said the trail was always there. His voice sounded a half-second late, like the words arrived after his mouth stopped. I checked my watch. It reads 0712. Moore's watch reads 0917. We've been walking the same azimuth, but the trees have rearranged themselves into a tighter corridor. The men are still quiet. I told them to keep eyes on the man in front. I'm logging this because something is rewriting the ground while we walk it. The path keeps changing length. 1 minute we're pushing through branches that scrape our helmets. The next the corridor opens like somebody cleared it overnight. Sergeant Vale just said the bunker should be 50 yards ahead according to the map. We walked another 100 and it's still not there. I heard my own voice on the wind saying hold position, but my mouth never moved. The sound arrived before I thought the words. Ellis asked me if I heard it too. I told him yes. His face went pale because he said I answered him 30 seconds before he asked the question. The forest is not looping anymore. It is editing itself around us. We found the bunker, but it moved. Yesterday's recon photos show it dug into the south face of the hill. Today, the whole thing has slid 30 yards east and the entrance faces north. The steel door is the same, but the concrete around it has new cracks that look weeks old. I ordered a cautious entry. Inside, the air is dry and smells like yesterday's coffee, even though Hale's squad was here 6 days ago. The lantern on the table is the same one from Reed's log, but the fuel level is higher than when Hale described it. Corporal Hayes picked up a clipboard and the pages flipped by themselves to a log entry dated tomorrow with my name at the bottom. I'm starting to feel the ground tilt under my boots. The bunker interior has grown. We counted the steps from entrance to table yesterday, 28. Today it's 34 and the hallway keeps stretching every time I look away. Lieutenant Moore just read aloud from Hale's recovered log and the words on the page changed while he spoke. The entry now says Moore was never part of Hale's squad. Moore swears he was. His voice cracked when he said it. I heard a delayed echo of my own order to
secure the perimeter
coming from the radio 2 seconds after I gave it. The men are looking at each other like they're not sure who is supposed to be here. I told them to stay together. The walls are listening. There is an extra chair at the table. We counted 11 men. 12 chairs now. 1 rifle is missing from the stack by the door, but Private Kowalski swears he never set his down. I checked the previous dictaphones. Reed's log now lists Kowalski as present on Reed's patrol, even though Kowalski was with me at Division HQ that day. The handwriting is mine. I never wrote it. Thompson just asked Ellis if he remembers the landing at Utah Beach together. Ellis said yes. Thompson said Ellis wasn't at Utah, he was still stateside. Their voices overlapped like 2 recordings playing at once. The bunker is rearranging our memories while we stand here. My watch just ran backwards for 6 seconds, then snapped forward again. The date window flipped to 1943. I showed it to Sergeant Vale, and his watch now reads the same impossible date. He remembers being in Sicily in 43, but I know he joined us in September 44. The radio crackled with a voice that sounded exactly like mine giving tomorrow's withdrawal order. The words arrived before I thought them. I ordered the squad to destroy the radio. The knob came off in my hand and the set kept playing anyway. The sound is inside the walls now. The corridor is growing while we walk it. We counted 20 steps to the radio room. 30 now. The walls are sprouting fresh timbers that weren't there when we passed them 30 seconds ago. Corporal Ruiz stopped and said the man walking in front of him was not Hayes anymore. He said the uniform was right, but the scar on the neck was on the wrong side. Hayes turned around and asked Ruiz what the hell he was talking about. Their voices were out of sync by almost a full second. I'm logging every step because the bunker is learning our movement and copying it wrong. The rifles have the wrong serial numbers. I checked them myself when we entered. Now each stock has a different number and the engravings look weeks old. The helmets are stacked in a different order. Ellis picked up his and said it didn't feel like his. He said the strap was too long. I remember measuring that strap myself last week. The radio is playing a reversed recording of our briefing from this morning. The words make sense if you listen backwards. I told the men to burn everything that doesn't belong to them. They looked at me like they weren't sure I belonged to them either. The ceiling is lower. I measured it with my hand when we first entered. 8 feet clear. 6 inches less now. The floor tiles have changed pattern. Sergeant Vale just accused Lieutenant Moore of never having been at division briefing. Moore swears he gave the order himself. Their memories do not line up anymore. I heard my own voice from the hallway saying abort mission, but I am standing right here. The sound is delayed and then repeats in reverse. The men are starting to look at each other and then at me like they are trying to remember if I was ever real. I can hear myself describing this exact second from somewhere behind the wall. The voice is mine, but the words are coming out backwards and then forwards at the same time. My hands are shaking, but the dictaphone is steady. Lieutenant Moore just asked me what my middle initial stands for. I told him R. He said my dog tag says K. I looked. It does. I have never used K in my life. The bunker is rewriting us one letter at a time. We tried to leave. The entrance is gone. The corridor we came through is now half the length and the door opens into a solid concrete wall that was not there 10 minutes ago. 3 copies of Reed's dictaphone are lying on the floor. They weren't there when we ran past. I picked one up and it started playing my voice describing the moment I picked it up. The men are pressing against the walls like they can push the bunker back into place. Their faces don't look right anymore. The forest has folded the building around us. Private Kowalski is gone, but his uniform is folded on the floor like he stepped out of it. He is still standing next to me asking where his boots went. The squad is down to 10, but the count on the logbook says 12. I no longer remember which one of us joined at the last minute. The radio is playing all our voices at once in perfect unison, describing the exact second we realize we are no longer who we were when we entered. The ceiling is another 4 inches lower. The wall is writing my name. I watched the pencil marks appear by themselves. Every man on the list is still standing here. The bunker is shrinking faster now. The air tastes like yesterday's rain even though we have been underground for hours. I can hear the forest outside rearranging the trees into new patterns that will trap the next patrol before they even cross the tree line. I think we were never the investigators. We were always the evidence. The room is collapsing inward. We can hear the concrete grinding. The men are no longer sure which of us gave the original orders. I remember signing the operation order, but the signature on the paper is not mine. The dictaphone is recording this, but the wire is running backwards. I am setting it down now because the bunker no longer needs us to speak. It already knows what we will say. The entrance is back, but the forest around it is new. The trees have arranged themselves into coordinates that do not exist. I can see the bunker from here, but I am still inside it. The squad is with me and they are not. If you are listening to this, do not send another team. The forest has learned our names, our ranks, our memories. It is already waiting at division headquarters. This was never our war. It was always theirs. If you're hearing this, the file has been released to the public. More recordings will be uploaded as they are recovered. Stay